It's 2 a.m. The blue light is on your face and your thumb is moving on its own. And then you see it. Someone your age has just bought a house. Someone else just got engaged. Someone you went to school with just sold their company. And there it is. That quiet drop in your chest. That feeling that everyone else got a map you never received. Behind. Almost everyone feels it. The 22-year-old feels behind. The millionaire CEO feels behind. The 45-year-old with a family and a mortgage lies awake feeling behind. It doesn't seem to matter how much you have or how well it's going. The feeling is always there, waiting. And here's the strange part. By every measure that actually exists, you are winning. You will live longer than almost every human who has ever been born. A medieval king would have traded his entire kingdom for the phone in your pocket. You are, historically speaking, doing extraordinarily well. So why the dread? Because this feeling, this specific gnawing sense of being behind, was almost impossible for 99% of human history. Nobody felt this. They couldn't. 3 separate things had to be invented before a human could feel the way you feel at 2 a.m. And once you see what they are, you can't unsee them. So let's actually ask the question hiding inside the feeling. Behind who? And behind by when? Start with the oldest part of you, the part that compares. You didn't choose to measure yourself against other people. You were built to. In 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger showed that humans don't judge themselves by any fixed absolute standard. We can't. Instead, we figure out how we're doing by looking sideways at the people around us. Comparison isn't a bad habit. It's the actual mechanism your brain uses to know where it stands. And for almost all of human history, that made perfect sense. For 300,000 years, you lived in a small band, somewhere around 150 people. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar found that's roughly the maximum number of real relationships the human brain is even built to hold. 150. That was the whole world. And in that world, your rank inside the group was everything. It decided who ate first when food was scarce. It decided who was protected and who was left on the edge of the firelight. This wasn't vanity. Status was survival. So your brain grew a kind of meter, a status meter, that constantly quietly measures where you stand. And that meter runs so deep that we can still see it in the body today. In a famous decades-long study of British civil servants, all of them employed, none of them poor, researchers found that where you ranked in the office hierarchy predicted how long you would live. The people a rung lower died younger than the people a rung higher, even after accounting for their income, their diet, and their habits. Rank alone was doing it. Being low status is quite literally bad for your health. But here's the part that matters. In that ancient world, the comparison was small, and it was knowable. 150 people. You could actually be the best hunter in your entire world, the best storyteller, the fastest, the funniest, the wisest. The meter could be satisfied because the game was small enough to win. And then the number changed. Because now the whole world walks into your camp every single night. You are not comparing yourself to 150 people anymore. Through the glowing rectangle in your hand, you compare yourself to millions, and it is not a fair sample. It is a highlight reel of the most exceptional humans alive in every category all at once. The richest, the most beautiful, the most successful, the most talented, all of them scrolling past you in the dark while you lie in bed. And your brain, the ancient one, the one built for the village, cannot tell the difference. It does not know that these people are strangers. It still reads them as your tribe, as the people you are ranked against, as the ones whose success means your failure. So every win you scroll past doesn't register as a stranger's good news, it registers as you slipping one more place down the ladder. And you can never climb back up, because for anything you could possibly achieve, someone in a pool of billions has already done it younger, faster, and better. And the feed will always find them for you. Understand what this means. Your instinct isn't broken. It's working perfectly. It's just being fed an impossible input. A comparison group of 8 billion when it was designed for 150. And we know exactly how strong that pull is. Ask people a simple question. Would you rather earn $50,000 a year while everyone around you earns 25? Or earn 100,000 when everyone around you earns 200,000? By pure math, the second choice is twice the money. But ask real people, and a huge share of them pick the first. They would rather have less and be ahead than have more and be behind. We don't actually want to be rich. We want to be winning. We are chasing rank, not reality. But comparison is only the first invention. The second one is stranger, because comparison explains the ache, but it doesn't explain the word, behind. Behind means there's a schedule, and someone had to write it. Think about the timeline you feel you're failing. Graduate around 18, career by your mid-20s, married by 30, house, kids, and then at the end, retirement. It feels like the natural law, like the shape a human life is simply supposed to take. It's about 150 years old. Take retirement. The idea that life ends in a golden phase of rest at a fixed age. That was essentially invented by one man. In the 1880s, the German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck created the first state pension and set the age at 70. It wasn't based on the human body or the human spirit. It was a political decision. We took one chancellor's budget math and turned it into a life stage. Or take the clock itself. For most of human history, time wasn't a schedule, it was a task. You worked until the work was done, you ate when you were hungry, and slept when it was dark. The historian E.P. Thompson described how it was really the factories and railways of the 1800s that forced all of us onto a single synchronized clock for the first time. Being on time and its shadow being behind schedule, those aren't ancient human truths, they're industrial inventions. They were built for machines, and then we started applying them to ourselves. Even the habit of sorting people by age came from the same place. Lining children up by birth year, moving them through standardized grades and milestones, that came from mass schooling built to feed an industrial economy. So the timetable you lie awake failing was not handed down by nature. It was assembled, recently, piece by piece, and mostly for the benefit of factories and states. And then you were born into it and told it was just the way things are. Which brings us to the deepest point of all, the one underneath everything else. To be behind, you need two things. You need a finish line, and you need a single track that everyone is running on. And for 300,000 years, human beings had neither. Life didn't move in a straight line towards a goal. It moved in circles. The seasons, the migrations, the same fire lit again each night. There was no ladder to climb, so there was nowhere to be behind of. The very idea that your life is a score to be maximized, a project to be optimized, a thing that you can be winning or losing at, that idea is brand new. Your ancestors did not wake up trying to become successful. They woke up already enough. So here's the truth about the feeling. The feeling is real, but the thing it points at is not. You are aching over a race that does not exist. You are measuring yourself against a field that is not your tribe, and you are running out of time on a clock that was built for trains. So come back to it. 2 a.m., the phone in your hand, that drop in your chest. It isn't a verdict on your life. It's an echo. It's a status meter built for a village of 150 people, panicking in the dark because it thinks you are losing rank in front of everyone you've ever known. But those people are strangers, and the schedule you're failing is barely a century old. There is no line. There never was one. You inherited a clock without the manual, and somewhere along the way, you mistook it for the shape of a life. So the next time it finds you, late at night, in the quiet, you'll still feel it. That part doesn't switch off, but now you'll know exactly what it is. And a feeling you understand loses the power to control you.